Welcome back, everyone, to this week's edition of Inside ECAC Hockey. Bernie Corbett, pleased to be joined on our men's side this week by the head coach of the defending national champions from Quinnipiac, Rand Pecknold. Rand, welcome. I've been interviewing you on a regular basis, I think, for about 15 of your 29 years. This is the first time that I'm going to formally interview you as part of the pantheon of coaches that have won the national championship. So I just wanted to acknowledge, I thought we've been talking to each other for a long time. I wanted to acknowledge that.
Yeah, thank you. No, it was a great moment for me personally, and certainly for Quinnipiac.
Well, I guess the first question is, before we talk about this season, what was the off season like? I mean, there's the whole, I guess, going to Disney World effect of the national championship and all that accompanies a championship season. What was the experience like for you? That there's no preparation for it; it happens, and then suddenly it happens. As far as what it was like I'm sure, a very unique off season for you.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was just chaos. But some got to do some pretty cool things. We got the whole team to Fenway and threw a pitch at on a Red Sox game. That was good. Rang the bell for the New York Stock Exchange. That was crazy. That was way better than I thought going into it. At first I was like, oh, okay. And then I got there and it was unbelievable. Went to the White House. So there was a lot of other smaller things too, a lot of other activities and stuff, with the trophy, and a lot of charity events, and a lot of stuff with kids and stuff. So, but it was a fast summer. It was chaos, but I'm not complaining.
No complaints. That's all. It comes with the territory. It goes along with it, and all those things nationally, regionally. The White House. It doesn't get any bigger if you're a champion in this country. But there had to have been a moment, or maybe several moments, where you were with, let's say, the hardcore group that supported Bobcat hockey. Did you have some of those moments along the way with the people that have been part of this program? I mean, you talked about it that night. You said, I think we said something to the effect of, my first office was a broom closet.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there must have been moments along the way where there were people that have been with you and been part of this journey for a long time that must have been very special.
Yeah, there was a lot that were in Tampa, and then a lot that I saw afterwards. And but yeah, the journey was crazy. Those early years with the midnight practices. And actually I started no office at first. Year 2, I got the broom closet, which we couldn't fit. Me and my 2 assistants, who were both volunteers, basically. We couldn't fit in there. One would fit, and the other 2 would have to sit in the hallway. So we'd stack the chairs, have to bring the chairs out in the hall. It was crazy. Just the stuff that we went through with no, we didn't have a phone, we didn't have computers. That was even before cell phones weren't really around. They were just starting to come in. But yeah, it's amazing the path that we had to take to get where we were, or get to our accomplishment. But it certainly was an enjoyable journey.
And noticeable as you get back out on the road in anticipation of this season, as far as the reaction, the cachet, the impact that it had to, now it's, well, hello, I'm coach of the, Quinnipiac, or your assistant coaches, that we're a national championship program. And just kind of the fact of arrival, if you will, you want to stay there, but the fact that you've arrived and you've got that on your resume is a pretty important chip.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's nice. It's nice for our coaching staff, for the university, for our players. I mean, it's a life-changing event for our players. I mean, they will never forget that. It's going to be one of their highlights of their life, not the only highlight. They're certainly pretty successful and going to have a lot more things to come. But it definitely changes things. We've had a pretty good run here over the last 10, 12, 13 years and being a top 10 program. And, we've been close before. This was our 3rd time in that championship game. So it was just crazy nice to finally win it.
Indeed, it certainly was memorable. And turning the page now, and of course, you look back, and I know coaches have a tendency, the coach's mentality, as it should be, when you hear the term defending, many coaches refute that. Hey, we're not defending anything. It's all new. It's all different. And you've been jumped really right back, when you consider the way that this season has gone, right back into the fire. Just taking a look at the body of work so far, a tough loss, obviously, and a hard-fought loss. on opening night to a Boston College team with some great young talent, and maybe indicative of the fact that the success of your program, as you mentioned, particularly over the last decade of being a team that's in the NCAA tournament in the picture every year. There is a bullseye of a certain size, but that bullseye is going to be, I think, exponentially bigger this year for your team.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I guess, but it's been pretty big the last couple of years. I mean, teams get fired up to play us. When you're ranked anywhere in that top 10, let alone top 5, teams are, goalies are excited to play against you. Players are excited to play against you. They know there's tons of NHL scouts in the fans in the stands every game that we play coming to watch our free agents. We've got some of the best ones in the country. So I don't know if it's exponential, Bernie. It's already been pretty big the last little while.
Sure.
For us, like we got almost half our guys are new, so it's been hard. It's an adjustment. We got to bring guys along. I think we have 12 new players out of our 26, so 12 new and 14 returners. And we got some growing pains here right now, but we're on the right path, and we just got to keep grinding along. And we're not fully at our identity yet, but I think at some point we will be. And once we get to that point, we'll start to win a lot of hockey games.
Got the once again lost to a Boston College team that's very, very highly thought of, particularly with their great young talent in that game. And you were without one of your key guys, and then lost another one of your key guys on the offensive side in that game. That certainly had an effect.
Yeah, I mean, Graf went down with an injury 2 shifts in, and then Lipkin got thrown out of the game. And there was my first sign of my first power play. Like, we were scrambling, and then I like how we competed and battled. Obviously we lost with 9 seconds left in overtime. Gauthier with the big time goal, Cutter doing what he does. But I thought we were pretty scrappy that game for losing Graf and Lipper. And we had our chances and we played well. And again, we have to find a way to win those games. And I think when we get to January and February, we'll find ways to win those games.
And then on the road at Northeastern, rallied back to get a draw there in the third period. Guy that got the goal for you previously at UNO, Davis Pennington, appears to be is going to be a big part of that blue line core for you.
Yeah, he's been really good. We've got some good transfers, just as we took last year. So the transfer portals, I use the phrase, it's the Wild West right now, and it's changed
open
things.
Season.
Sure. Yeah, it is. And but
Yep.
and a lot of guys complain about it, but to me, I get that, I don't love that. Sorry, I should say it differently. I don't love that guys used to have to transfer, have to sit a whole year. I thought that's a pretty stiff punishment, because sometimes it's just not the right fit, or they don't like the school or whatever. I thought it was pretty stiff on the players. So I do like that fact now that they can move around and do have the opportunity to play. And I just tell my assistants always, like, hey guys, like it's not going anywhere. We better embrace it and figure out how to use it to our advantage.
And bringing in Pennington, you mentioned from UNO, Cooper Moore from North Dakota, going a long way to kind of rebuild that decor for you this year, and knowing that you were going to be in an inexperienced position, at least for the Quinnipiac program, in goal from what you had with Peretz over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, we got a bunch. We got Travis Traylor came in. I mean, he's been really good from Ohio State. Vinny's done well. The BU transfer in goal, he's done really well.
Yes.
So the transfers have acclimated. They're still not like all of them and all of our freshmen aren't all in on how we play. And honestly, like some of our returners aren't. I don't know if it's a little bit of a hangover from the national championship, but we just haven't played real hard Quinnipiac hockey yet. So we're working on that. I've used the phrase already a few times this year. Like, every game we play is like 3 games. Every period's a different game. So we just got to get a little more consistent and play a hard 60, and that will come. It's part of the maturation process. We have new leaders and new players that we're integrating, and some guys, some of our returners are, like I said, have a little bit of a hangover from last year. But we'll figure it out. It's a good group, and we're going to have some success this year.
And most recently, we had a big breakout offensive game against AIC, and then this past weekend, a UNH team that I think maybe people have underestimated, and all you could handle there on both nights. First night, big third period to get some separation, and then the second night looked like a real battle all the way down the stretch in terms of a game that had a lot of momentum shifts and a lot of ebb and flow to it.
Yeah, UNH is really good. Coach Souza did a nice job. He and his staff have done a nice job. Like they're
Yeah.
going to be good. They're going to win a lot of games this year. They got a really good core of young players there. Really nice freshman class that played really well against us both nights, and they had a lot of energy and competed hard. And we were again all over the map each night. It was just up and down, and that's where, last year we sweep those games just because we're a little more of a veteran team. And but hey, you got to give UNH credit. They battled and they found a way. And in overtime we challenged the goal for goalie interference, and I'll let you take a look at it on your own if you want. But it's it is what it is, and we lost in overtime, so that was disappointing.
One of the things that you I'm sure you looked at coming in was as much as firepower as you had last year. I mean, just heartened by the fact of having Graf and Lipkin and Quillen all at the top of the score sheet for you again. That this team was going to be able to function, looked like it was going to be able to function at a pretty high level offensively. I'm sure that gave you some confidence coming into maybe, especially early in the season.
Yeah, I mean, it was great to get those three back. They had opportunities to leave, but they all decided to come back for one more year. We did lose. We could have had Skylar and Yanni come back. They made the decision to move on, which I supported, and they were ready to go. So it's an interesting, when you get five guys who have eligibility to return get offered NHL contracts. That's a crazy number. You have one in a year. It's a good year, So, but again, that's indicative of the season that we had. And if you're going to win and win at a high rate like that, it's the norm now with the NHL. They're going to come and come knocking on your door for your players, and you just have to kind of accept it and be prepared to have new guys come in to fill the spots.
Was a big part of your off season being able to dispel or dissuade the guys from what they accomplished. You don't want to take away from them, but just to get that refocus, Rand, for this season, was that just a big part, I'm sure, the mentality and the mission and the focus of your coaching staff to begin a new year?
No, honestly, no, Bernie. Like I want them to embrace that win. Like it's a phenomenal event for them, and it's life-changing for them. So I didn't do any of that this summer, even in the fall. Like I think just recently I brought it up for the first time. Like, hey guys, it's time to move on. They know it. Listen, it's an elite group of high character individuals. Our character is so good this year, again, just like the past few years. Like they know it's time to move on, and we'll find a way.
And for this weekend, as you get ready, you got Maine and Ben Bart's did a pretty nice job there in a short time of getting things turned around up there, and certainly familiarity.
Yeah, Ben's done a really good job. He and his staff have been excellent. Bringing in another good recruiting class. The NATO brothers are gonna wreak some havoc on Hockey East this year, and they've got Breen back, and they got the goaltending. They play hard. I've always been impressed with Benny. I think he does a great job. So we're gonna have our hands full, and we'll have to be prepared. We had a great series with Maine last year, and we're looking forward to that tilt this weekend.
Absolutely. And Rand, thanks very much. We appreciate joining us. Always great to talk hockey with you, and look forward to talking again and seeing you around the rinks here during the 23-24 campaign.
Oh, thank you, Bernie. Thanks for having me on.
Coach Rand Pecknold, our guest here, joining us on the men's side this week on Inside ECAC Hockey.